Everyone, my name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Why I Live at the P.O, written by Eudora Welty. Now, before I go into summary and analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Alright, Why I Live at the P.O by Eudora Welty. Very interesting work here. We have two sisters, Stella, Rondo, and sister. So they call one of the sisters just sister. And Stella was married to a man by the name of Mr. Whitaker. And Stella is like she comes home. She was in Illinois. She comes home to Mississippi, and pretty much the sisters start fighting. We learn a lot of things about these sisters here. At some point, sister used to date Mr. Whitaker, but they didn't get married. But Stella and Mr. Whitaker, they got married. Stella has an adopted daughter by the name of Shirley T. And sister suspects that is like Stella's biological daughter, and that she may be slow or have some mental disabilities. But the rest of the family, the mother, the father, and the uncle, they're all on Stella's side. They all love her. They all welcome her back home with open arms. It's really sister that's kind of like against her and judging her, while everybody wants to stick up for her and just welcome her back into the house. So the sisters, they pretty much there's some friction. They can't get along. I mean, think about it. They both were at some point in love with the same man. So that's always going to cause problems, because even if you break up with somebody, you're going to remember the time when you did like them, the time when you did love them, and you're going to remember the good times, the times when you thought that you were completely in love with them, and the happiness that you felt during those good times. That's why, relationships are interesting that way, because you'll remember why you separated with someone, but you'll also remember the gentle times, the loving times. Those, they don't disappear. They still exist at some point in time. So even if they broke up, sister and Mr. Whitaker, she has to remember the times when they had good times together. And she does remember that during this short story. There's like a kimono that the uncle wears, and Mr. Whitaker used to take pictures of sister with. And, Stella makes the uncle wear the kimono, and sister is not particularly happy about that, because she remembers when Mr. Whitaker took pictures of her in it when they were together as a couple. But again, they broke up, and Stella and Mr. Whitaker, they got married, and potentially they might have had a daughter together in Shirley T. But again, Stella doesn't want to admit this, because, well, there's a lot of things that are going on. It's pretty much Mr. Whitaker broke it off with Stella. The marriage didn't last, and there's a child now that might have some mental disabilities. And so Stella's life is not perfect. She's dealing with a lot, and she comes back home because she has nowhere else to go, and her sister is giving her a hard time. And the family is with Stella, but they're against sister. And, pretty much the sisters go into this warfare where Stella uses the uncle to get at sister, and mother and father, they go against sister. The father has a long beard, and he doesn't want to cut his beard. He likes his beard, and Stella pretty much encourages the idea that, Stella encourages the idea that sister wants the father to cut off his beard, and the father is particular. He's quite upset about this, and he's like, "You owe me, because I got you the job at the post office and everything." And the mother gets into it. Everybody goes against sister. Now the mother's like, "There's nothing wrong with with Shirley T. She's just an adopted kid." Costello tells everybody that Shirley T's adopted. She's not Shirley T's biological mother. And this is, neither confirm or, no one tells us that it's not true. We really don't know. The odds are that, yeah, it's probably Shirley T is Stella's daughter, because she was married, she was engaged. Um, there's a good chance that she might have been pregnant and had a child. I mean, it's completely logical that while she was in Illinois with her husband, Mr. Whitaker, they might have had a child together. That makes complete sense. And the sister has complete right to think that, because that's, I mean, most people, when they get married, they have kids. Um, but Stella, I don't know why, but she doesn't want to admit that Shirley T is hers, and she gets quite upset when sister questions or has questions about it. So there's ample evidence to prove that Shirley T is the biological daughter of Stella. So the family is quite against sister for being so cold, for being so judgmental, for questioning Stella, and I do understand it, because Stella's going through a lot. She's going through a divorce. She's a only mother now. She's she's an only parent, and she's pretty much in the midst of a divorce, and she's getting all this backlash from her sister. So there's a lot that's going on with this family. Ultimately, the sisters pretty much go into this warfare, and Stella turns everybody in the house against sister. And the uncle throws firecrackers into sister's room, and after that, like live firecrackers, not just like regular, just throw them dead into the room. He throws a little live firecrackers into the room, and after this, sister's like, I'm moving out. I'm going to live at the Pirado, at the post office. And that's pretty much what happens in the story. Sister moves out. She goes to live at the post office. She just takes her stuff, a radio, some vases, and she goes to live at the post office in the town. People talk about it. Some people pick Stella's side. Some people pick sister's side. And they pretty much, she moves out, and 5 days go by and nobody asks about her in the house. Nobody comes to see her at the post office. And she pretty much moves to the post office to be isolated and be by herself, and to not be bothered anymore by her family. And both of the sisters, they both have, um, things that are significant. What I mean by that is, I understand Stella's perspective or reality. She was in love with Mr. Whitaker. I mean, we can say that because she was engaged, she got married, she potentially has a child with him. She was living in Illinois with him, so she lost her love. She's an only mother. She has to move back home with her family. Her sister is giving her the business, the third degree about her life, and she's potentially again going through a divorce. And the sister has a few things too. It seems like the family loves Stella more than her. She has to hear about her ex with her sister, and that's a faux pas. If your sister or a family member dates somebody, it's really in bad taste. It's a faux pas to date someone that somebody in your family has already dated. I mean, not everybody might agree with me with this, but if my brother dates a girl, um, I should have the decency not to date that same girl after they've broken up. Because, again, once you fall in love with somebody, or once you like somebody, you may break up, but the memories are still in your skull, man. Like, those memories, they can come up at any time. Once you've been in a relationship with someone, at some point, even after you break up, you're going to remember the good times. You're also going to remember the bad times, and you're going to remember why you got together and why you broke up. That's all part of the human experience. Just because it didn't work out, it doesn't mean that you didn't have those isolated moments of pure happiness with that person. The times when, you were just together and having fun. And sister gives us a great example of this, that time when Mr. Whitaker was taking picture of her in the kimono. So that was a pleasant memory back in that relationship. And for Stella to use that as ammo to get sister out of the house is quite significant. Humans, we are emotional beings. We feel things. We express emotions. We're onions, and things that people say, things that people do, they do affect us. They affect how we think, how we feel, and it affect our character, our drive, who we are, our ambitions, and the tension was so much. It was pretty much like a powder keg at this house, and sister just had to move out because it was just too much for her. She couldn't deal with her ex, her sister, her family all together. It was just too much, so she had to move to the post office. In terms of deeper meaning and analysis, yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to say about why I live at the P.O. I mean, the title pretty much it explains everything. It tells us why sister moved to the P.O, what she was going through, what she couldn't witness, and she wanted some isolation. She wanted some privacy. She wanted some, peace. I mean, the uncle throwing the live firecrackers into a room, that's not really something that you want somewhere you live. Sometimes you want some peace. Sometimes you don't want to be judged. Sometimes, after work, you just want to enter a quiet space and just relax. You don't want to be in these verbal battles with everything that you do, and everything that you say can be used against you in the social court of the household. So she moved away to get some peace, and she holds a grudge against her sister. So the sister holds a grudge against Stella, and the family is, they work Stella. They kind of understand what Stella's going through, but at the same time, they don't see what the sister's going through, and she is going through a lot. This is the thing I love about literature. It's not always black and white, and life is not always black and white, man. I mean, most people could probably just say Stella's the good one and the sister's the evil one, or the sister's the evil one and Stella's the good one. We really can't come to that conclusion. They both have things that bother them, that hurt them. They both have memories and a past with Mr. Whitaker, and they both have different expressions and different realities that they're going through. One wants privacy. One, Stella's world is crumbling apart, and sister, you know, she's just her place in the family without Stella is being changed, and that change is too much for her to bear, so she moves out. So very significant work. A lot of things, again, are happening within this work. But that's all I have to say about it. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.